One of poker's most contentious personalities has established a reputation for himself by portraying himself as an old-school gambler both at and away from the tables. This is the story of Sammy Farha, a man who overcame adversity to reach the pinnacle of the poker game and unintentionally sparked the poker boom in 2003. Ihsan Farha was born in 1959 in Beirut, Lebanon, and grew up there until the age of 16. In 1975, a civil war broke out in Lebanon, and the Farha family fled the nation in search of a better life and a safer environment for their children to develop. They found a home in the United States, where Ihsan began using the name Sam, and eventually earned a degree in business administration from the University of Kansas. He had a promising career ahead of him thanks to his degree and the information that came with it, but he had other ideas. During his undergraduate years, Farha developed a significant interest in various games, becoming an avid player of pool, ping ball, and Pac-Man. According to a few stories, he was constantly earning money and fighting against his friends at Pac-Man, once winning $5,000. Sammy, who had previously enjoyed success in a variety of games, found poker and became immediately interested in it. The money being wagered in poker was more enticing than anything gained on arcade games. Farha fell in love with poker in Texas in the 1980s, and eventually chose to travel to Las Vegas to explore how lucrative it could be. Given that the average poker player in the 1980s was not technically very competent, Farha's competitive spirit and pure talent were enough to propel him to the top of the game swiftly. Farha quickly realized he possessed the necessary skills to become a professional poker player. This was a professional path that promised to make him a millionaire quickly, unlike any other business he might pursue. He spent several years playing cash games and private games, but in 1996 he made his way to the WSOP and earned his first gold bracelet. He won a $2,500 pot limit Omaha event that year, defeating Brent Carter heads-up for his first bracelet in his favorite poker game. Despite this victory, Sammy never developed into a serious tournament player, only competing when he felt like it. He almost won a bracelet again in 2002, finishing third in a $1,500 WSOP pot limit Omaha event. However, it was the 2003 World Series of Poker that actually put him on the poker map, as he actively played in one of the biggest poker events of all time. Prior to 2003, the $10,000 WSOP main event was traditionally won by a large number of poker professionals. As the main event progressed, Phil Ivey, Dan Harrington, and Sammy Farha remained in the game. Phil Ivey, the poker legend, was eliminated in 10th place by Chris Moneymaker, an unassuming accountant with an intriguing name. By the time the final table was nearing its end, Sammy was left to compete against Moneymaker for the gold bracelet and the honor of becoming world champion. Despite his extensive expertise and dominating poker skills, Chris won the heads-up match and became the most well-known poker player at the time. Moneymaker's victory sparked the poker boom, bringing thousands of new players into the game and causing an explosion of online poker. While he lost over $1 million by losing that heads-up match, Moneymaker's victory attracted so much money into poker that most poker players believe he won them all millions in the long run. Sammy, now a WSOP runner-up, continued to be a prominent player in Las Vegas high-stakes games. In 2005, he went deep in the main event, but fell short of the final table. In 2006, he came 5th in the National Heads-Up Poker Championship. That same year, he won an event at the WSOP, winning first in the $5,000 PLO High-Low event, winning $398,000 and his second WSOP bracelet. His aggressive and loose style has been beneficial in Omaha, where he was a fierce competitor for many years. In 2010, he dominated in a WSOP event, winning the $10,000 Omaha High-Low Championship event for $488,000 and his third gold bracelet. In 2012, he came close in a $10,000 PLO event, but was eliminated in 11th place. He hasn't made many appearances in poker tournaments since, but he did make a cameo appearance in the 2021 Seniors event at the WSOP. He has returned to Texas, where he often plays poker in popular Texas poker rooms for higher stakes. He moved away from high-stakes games due to the drama surrounding them. Despite some accusations of lacking respect for fellow players and poker room staff, he remains a character in the poker world. Aside from his second-place finish in the 2003 WSOP main event and his role in the legendary Moneymaker win, Farha's most well-known appearances were on the TV poker show High Stakes Poker. He featured in seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 with Daniel Negreanu, Barry Greenstein, Phil Hellmuth, Phil Ivey, Mike Matusow, and many other poker legends. Among this group of poker superstars, Farha stood out for his fantastic table antics, stylish looks that brought fans to old-school Las Vegas, and loose playing style. Farha appeared to be engaged in more pots than any other player, using cards that most other players would never consider betting a chip with. Despite his loose style, Farha held his own by playing courageously and aggressively, frequently winning pots that didn't belong to him. He developed a feud with fellow immigrant poker player Eli Elezra as they bluffed and bet heavily hand after hand. In the end, he was recognized as one of the show's most cherished characters, with his signature unlit cigar prop becoming a fan favorite. His reputation after the first 4 seasons of the show, combined with his success at the tables in the meantime, forged the legend of Sammy Farha as one of the most fearless players who elevated power poker to new heights. At the age of 63, Sammy is no longer as active in the poker world as he once was, but he has not completely disappeared from the grand stage. In a 2017 interview, Farha discussed his love of Omaha, his distaste for No Limit Hold'em, and why he left high-stakes poker. According to an old-school poker legend, the high levels of drama surrounding such games became too much for the aging player, who chose to walk away while he was ahead. He returned to Texas, where he spent a significant portion of his youth, and continues to play poker for more realistic stakes. The 3-time WSOP bracelet winner was involved in an altercation at Houston's Legends Poker Room. The altercation began with heated words between Farha and another player, Amjad, or MJ, who allegedly slapped Farha in the face. Both individuals were quickly ejected from the venue. Amjad had a previous bad history with Farha, having been a dealer at Johnny Chan's 88 Social Poker Room across the street from Legends. Farha claimed that Amjad was fired from the now shuttered 88 Social over an earlier incident, though he was allegedly and quickly rehired at another area poker room. Farha declared that he had trouble with Amjad being present at the Legends Club after his earlier disagreement with Amjad at 88 Social. The two men then exchanged heated words before Amjad appeared to have slapped Farha. A GoFundMe account was created to support possible legal defense needs should Farha escalate the situation. A couple of posters speculated that Farha might try to seek a legal settlement from Legends over the incident, but this is unlikely due to Amjad being another player and not an employee of the club. The exact reality remains unknown because there is no proof to support either side of the story. But we do know that assaulting a 63-year-old guy is not acceptable behavior. The incident has shown a bright spotlight on Farha, who despite his earlier poker fame, has fallen on harder poker times and become one of the more disliked players in the Houston poker scene. What do you think Farha must have said that the dealer slapped him across the face? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave.